The heck are you doing?
Everybody.
What's happening? Everybody have a good Thanksgiving?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Cool. Looks like John's still working on it there.
Nancy's feeding me snacks.
There you go. All right. So let's do this real quick because it's sad news. So let's do this and kind of get it out of the way and pay our respects. Morgan Lofting, who was the voice of the Baroness and a few other things. She did some Spider-Man work and apparently was in Total Recall somehow, some way. I don't know what the exact details were of that.
I think she might have been the voice of the computer there when in the airport. Maybe.
I think so.
Or you remember the mask you had on that he was pretending to be a woman, going through the security. It turned out to be like
I can see that.
Yeah, that
I
would
think maybe she done that voice. I'm not sure.
Sure. She passed away Wednesday, the 27th, day before Thanksgiving. Just unexpectedly of what they said were natural causes, according to the family spokesperson. So quite a career. I mean, she did, of course, started with G.I. Joe and the Mass Device miniseries and followed it right through. The last credit she has for Joe is the movie.
Yep.
So that was kind of interesting.
I thought she did the Baroness and the Sunbow, or not the Sunbow, but the Dick cartoons also.
I don't think
she's listed as she was Princess Invidia on Star Blazers. That's interesting. I don't know if you guys remember that one. That was a cool show. I never knew that. 79 to 84, 81 to 82. She voiced Aunt May and Black Cat in that original Spider-Man series. Baroness, she started in 83 with the Mass Device and went on to, I'm trying to get to the bibliography, so to speak. She was the Baroness in the Operation Dragonfly and another G.I. Joe series just from 90 to 91.
Yeah, that would have been the Dick series.
Yeah. So this is more complete than I had seen earlier. Interesting. Yeah. Leaves behind her brother and his wife, a nephew, Brian, Justin, and his wife, Stacy, and her grandchildren, Zach and Ellie. We're losing them. I mean, I guess that's kind of what happens as we get older and these things get older, right? But she had, was it Joe Fest? She was scheduled that. She was supposed to be
Fort Joe Fest, yeah.
Yeah, and then kind of abruptly canceled that appearance, and there was some rumors at that time, but nothing reported otherwise, other than the prerequisite. We'll see you next year, but apparently not. So that's quite a loss. I mean, I don't know as any of us would have any kind of emotional attachment that we do for the Baroness if it weren't for her voice acting. To be perfectly honest with you, the cartoon would have been a completely different thing without her pivotal role. To be perfectly honest with you, she was so shrill and so loud. It worked. She did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So sad news of that passing.
She was supposed to attend FarleyCon this coming year. Mm-hmm. And I was really looking forward to meeting her. And this really makes me want to meet more of these people.
Yeah.
And just speak with them for just a moment, because we grew up with these people. They were a childhood. And it's kind of sad and breaks your heart thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not far behind them.
Well, I'm not, but you guys.
Oh, not either.
He's just 23, remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just playing through. Don't mind me. I'm just playing through.
Old
Let me
boy.
ask you though, did you ever read the comic or any other media, and when you reading the lines the Baroness said in the comic, you're hearing her voice same way with Duke,
No.
same with Cobra Commander?
Yeah.
I mean, Cobra Commander, every time I see Cobra Commander, I always hear that hissy voice, that he had from the cartoon.
When I'm reading them, I try to do them in my head while reading their parts in the comics.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, and the crossover between Cobra Commander and Baroness, I have to tell you, and Zartan, they would be industrial. They would be the number ones that you hear that voice because they were so distinct.
Yep.
And they were both a lot of appearances in both the cartoon and the comic. So yeah, no, absolutely. Her voice is what you read to yourself in when you read the bubbles from the Baroness in the comics. Absolutely. Quite an impact. I mean,
anytime you read Snake Eyes, you can put any voice through it you want to.
Yeah.
Yep.
His many lines in the comics.
Yep.
Yeah. Snake Eyes always sounds like Morgan Freeman to me.
Kind of pictures him like
Well, now, John,
I don't know. I always every time he spoke, all I could hear was Gilbert Gottfried. I mean, seriously,
That's wrong.
It's funny though.
That's almost saying he'd hear him as old Bobcat.
Can you see Snake Eyes stepping onto the screen and facing the camera and going Affleck? Oh, whatever. I don't see it happening. But yeah, some sad news there.
But I would stress to meet these people if you can.
Yeah,
Just talk to
I
them for a little bit.
couldn't agree with that more because we definitely have hit that place where
Definitely.
the opportunities are going to disappear. I told you guys about the chance the one time I came close to meeting Peter Mayhew, and he canceled that appearance, and I don't know, it was even 2 weeks later that an announcement came that he died in his home in Texas. So that was one person I definitely always wanted to meet, and I kind of had the inside scoop because they said he'd never been to Maine before, and he was going to be there, and they said, the secret. Somebody said the secret that met him. The secret to Peter Mayhew is he's hardly ever at the table. He sneaks off a lot, and he'll go out back wherever will you find out where the employees' smoking area is. That's where Peter Mayhew will be.
Yeah.
And but you're right. If you have an opportunity to meet these people, probably get on it because we're gonna run out of those days soon
And
enough.
honestly, man, I never really felt that way until I got the chance to sit down and talk to Larry Hama. That was just because I always thought, well, these people, they just there to sign an autograph, make a $20 bill,
Yeah,
Not true.
it's not.
And then it's the same thing happened when we met Zorana, the voice actor for Zorana.
Yep.
He was just as cool as could be and talked to us for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, and now that this has happened, I feel like I need to meet more of them and just talk to them for a few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pick their brain just for a second.
It is funny because getting just a handful of pieces of art that's been signed just in the last few years, and even having been reading comics and collecting enough for 50 years, I never had anything like that before the last 12 months, 18 months. And now I look back on it, and it's just like, and especially with that figure that I just got last week, the Brayfogle figure. It's kind of like there's so many of those guys that are gone now, and there's it's not about collecting the autograph. I don't care about that. It's about having the experience of meeting them and getting that autograph. Does that make any sense? I'm not going to collect their autographs. That's kind of that's not for me. But to have a memento of having met them. But so many of the guys that were that I grew up reading and looking at, they're gone. It's so you don't get that doesn't come back. So
Yep.
So
How do you feel about
absolutely.
it, John? I know the Baroness was your character. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I hate I didn't get to talk to her, or, meet her. I know she was at JoeCon here several years ago, and there was a long line, and I passed it by, and I wished I hadn't, but I did that with several of them actually. I know BJ Ward was at one, the one that does the voice of Scarlet, and I actually got the print that they sold there for you to get her to sign it, but I never did get over in line and get her to sign it. And, just missed opportunities that I had the chance, and it wasn't like it was real expensive to do or anything. I mean, in fact, I was trying to remember. I don't even think they were charging at JoeCon, because I think they just straight up paid them to come out there. Give them, for the con, and so
right.
Possibility.
Did you guys speaking of these things? Did any of the other of you guys see that short film that they made that came out a week or so ago? That reunification, where they did all of the de-aging and the CGI and the AI stuff that put Captain Kirk with Spock on Spock's deathbed. You guys
see that?
If you didn't see that, you got to go look that up, because there's a lot of the old stars from the Star Trek movies in that short film, and it's actually very, 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 very well done. But it's interesting. William Shatner was involved with it, and it makes me wonder. A lot of people have been saying, it's the goodbye video, and it's this and it's that, and I think a lot of people were kind of taking that as it was a goodbye from Captain Kirk and Spock. But I'm really beginning to wonder, especially at his age, if maybe that really wasn't more of a goodbye from William Shatner.
Yeah.
Because he's the same. He's just slightly younger than my father, which he's 95 too. So we'll be right off. So it's just, last time I saw him on TV, he's kind of, he's shrunk up and he's got the hunch going and stuff. The voice sounds the same, but I mean, finally, that man is actually starting to show his age. He's a very old man, and maybe it was a little bit of a goodbye from William Shatner too. So I'd pay attention to that. If you have an opportunity to meet him, I'd probably get on that too if you're so inclined. But check out that reunification video; it's very cool.
He was in Huntsville last year, and I missed it. I was planning on going, and I can't remember what happened, and didn't get to make it. So.
Right. Well, I remember there was a bunch of stuff going on last year. So
yeah.
So yeah. So anyways, that's kind of
the last time I was around Sergeant Slaughter, I passed on meeting him, but next time I definitely will, because that is one I'd like to talk with.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, those old wrestlers will shock you, because they just kind of die. They're not in great physical condition anymore, and that life was hard on them, so they just kind of,
None of us is going to live forever, that's for sure.
Not here, anyways. So that's that, right? So, thank you for everything to her. So let's
what she give us.
Yeah. Let's do something happier, right? Who's got something?
Crickets.
I got 3 plates of my brother-in-law stuffing over Thanksgiving. That was the highlight of my week.
Dixie and I met up with Shane in Decatur Friday, and he took us to the spot where he tripped. I mean, where Corey tripped over the curb.
I was pushed from the front and behind.
funny. I was in front
a
of
little
him.
indention there and a little plaque over to the sides, and commemorating it.
Yeah.
He tripped over that huge curb there, didn't he, John? The
The only
slide.
thing I got going on is a lot of stuff in the mail's coming.
Oh, I've got a pretty good haul this weekend myself.
Well, that's cool. What'd you get?
Hang on, I'll show you real quick. So the wife, she does the Black Friday stuff. She found these two at Bargain Hunt. Don't laugh, because the cards are all busted up.
Oh, wow. So what?
But for $7,
Yeah.
I'm going to open them
She
up
should
and
have
play
got
with
all
them.
of them.
That was the only two she had. They had.
Wow.
But for $7, I'm going to open them up and play with them.
Yeah, get a pile of them snow serpents going. That'd be
Ain't
cool.
no doubt. That's what I was telling John a couple of weeks ago. I was snow serpent poor, and now I've got 3 of them.
Nice.
And then I picked these up from John that he'd got for me.
Nice.
And then Walmart had their Black Fridays going on. And I got 2 that I've been missing. I got this one here.
Cool.
Picked it up. It was regular $50, but I paid $50 for it and a Night Force tunnel wrap
Nice.
at Walmart. So
Nice.
I mean, that was a pretty good Black Friday haul for me. And I ordered
Did you
them
order that
on-
off the internet?
Yeah,
Okay, if it's mine ain't got here yet, so I thought you may have found it at a store.
no, I ordered it off of the website. I think I ordered it Monday, and it was here yesterday. Got here, yesterday. Oh, Friday. Got here Friday. So it was pretty swift, But it was a pretty decent haul. Pretty much all I got. But it was 2 that I didn't have. At first, I wasn't going to do the Night Force. And then, to me, some of these figures look better than the originals that they've done. So I went ahead and decided to catch back up. So now all I like is the Wolf Spider guy on the Night Force.
Good luck on that.
Have all that caught up. So
Did you get a Quarrel and a Falcon?
no, I ain't got it yet neither.
I can't
Got
find
about
it
one.
either.
Those popped up again last week, and then
Did it?
Mhm. Yeah, they popped up on their Black Friday stuff.
Yeah, but then they're gone again. So
Yeah, those things you just have to keep an eye out for them.
Yeah.
Because
Yep,
they
yep.
will pop in and out. They've been popping in and out on Hasbro too, on Pulse.
Hmm.
So you just got to keep an eye out for them.
nice. What you got, John?
Woo, it's gonna be all night long.
I did get the. While we're at Target and Decatur, I found both versions of Geoforce. So I picked up this is the classic, right, Dave?
Yes.
The brown was later.
Yep.
Okay. Because the classics is the one that I want. Yeah, it shows the brown on the back, but yeah. I was surprised. And they had the Hunters. Apparently the Hunters starting to pop up everywhere, the platinum. I was shocked because I figured it'd be real hard to find, but
Right.
which I finally just got to open mine right before the show started. And then Walmart and Gadsden apparently got some in because I found the Shining Knight, and I didn't even know this figure I didn't even know this figure existed.
Yeah.
And
Gender
it's
swap.
flat. Do what now?
Gender swap.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was originally male to begin with.
The 7 Soldiers of Victory.
Yeah.
Well, so this is not. I figured this was the classic since it was platinum.
Yeah, he's all over the place with that stuff.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember the 7 Soldiers of Fortune. I mean, I remember I knew of the title and some of the figures and all, but I didn't. I couldn't remember. So is this like modern DC now?
I'm not
He's
sure
a she now,
I'm not sure the character has ever actually made an appearance in the comics as female.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's kind of they got some weird continuity stuff going on with the 7 Soldiers of Victory and timeline stuff. So I don't know for sure. But what's her? What's the book? What's it
just
say on
says,
her name?
it just says 7 Soldiers of Victory is all it says on it.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know. Like, it's kind of messed up.
Oh well, it's a cool looking figure anyway. I know she's got a plastic cape, though. She don't have the cloth cape.
Yeah.
I thought it was neat. I thought it was cool. Like I said, I like the old stuff. Marvel, DC, both. I like the classics. You know, even if I never really read them. I did get the Splinter. He was marked down a little bit, but he's kind of disappeared. So I thought, well, I better grab it because I don't know. I got Trapjaw last year, and this has got some of the Build-A-Figure pieces for the metal Bato, and I don't know. I'm dabbling in these Turtle Grayskull figures a little bit, but he was marked. I mean, it's $3 off, but that's better than nothing. So it was the last one I had, so I went ahead and grabbed it. And I've seen the new one that's out now, the Bebop and Rocksteady, is too bad, but I was kind of waiting to see if they maybe mark those down too. But at Replay Toys, I got a White Vision from the West Coast Avengers.
Cool.
And they had the clearance stuff. They had 50% off, so it was $16. So I thought, well, cool, $8. That's cheaper than Ollie's. So, and then when I got up there, he rung up $6.50, so that was even better. So that's like, okay. And then I passed it up at the Jacksonville Walmart a while back, and then when I went back, it was gone. But yesterday while I was over in Carrollton, Georgia, I did find the bat that was clearanced off at $35. That was a San Diego Comic-Con blue bat, so I went ahead and grabbed it.
Well, that box is in good shape too.
Yeah. Only thing about it, getting them at Walmart, they don't have the sleeve that goes up.
Yeah, no sleeve. That's right.
But that's all right. I'm thinking about just chunking the boxes anyway, because all these boxes are starting to take up a lot of space. I've been saving all my G.I. Joe boxes, but I think I'm fixing to start chunking them.
I did. I did. I had to. It was scary, the amount of space. Even folded up, they were taking up a huge amount of space.
Yeah.
I beat y'all to it last year.
Yeah. But I don't know. I was trying to keep those since they were numbered and all that, but
yeah,
I about decided to heck with it. You know, chunk them.
Yep.
What killed that for me is when they swapped from plastic to windowless and back and forth. That's what killed that for me.
Yeah, the sizes are all messed up on them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I did. Like I said, when we were at Carrollton, Georgia, we were actually riding over to Noonan, Georgia, to Full Circle Toys, which January the 4th is their last day in their old building. They'll have their grand opening in the new building on January the 11th.
What's up, Timothy?
And it's over right across. I mean, right next door to Barnes and Noble. So if you're over in Noonan, Georgia, after January the 11th, they're moving to this location right next to Barnes and Noble, and it's a nice store. We drove by and looked at it. They've already got their signs and all up on the windows and they're getting it ready. So if you happen over that way, definitely go check it out after January the 11th when they get putting that new building. But I went ahead and finally, after 40-something years, I finally got me a vintage All Striker. And I don't know why. It's just one of the vehicles that I never got as a kid, and I never have got as an adult. And it's one of the few vintage figures from 82 to 87 that I don't have. That and the other one that I never got. I picked up a Triple T that she had.
You never had a Triple T?
I never had the Triple T neither.
Wow.
So I've got Sergeant Slaughter that come with it, but I never had the Triple T neither.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't believe I got one over on John.
Does it got the joystick?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
it's all complete.
That's very cool.
Nice.
And your All-Star Strikers cannon stays up too.
Yep. It's just got
Mine goes,
you can see a little stress on the flag. See how it's discolored a little bit on that one, and this one not so much. But other than that, they're nice and clean.
Cool.
And So yeah, I finally took the dive and picked him up. There wasn't very much neither, so it's
Yeah, those are fairly cheap.
yeah, that's what I say. It was
Vehicle.
one. I guess that's why I've never bothered getting because it's one that they're everywhere and you can get them real easy. So I kind of focus more on the harder to find stuff
Yeah. And two iconic vehicles too. You know.
Yeah.
Because you see
For
the
sure.
All Striker in nearly all the cartoons. And every time you saw Slaughter, you saw the Triple T tank.
Yeah.
I've been debating on whether or not to buy an All Striker, the 3D printed ones.
Yeah, I think we'll
The
see one of
classic-
them from Hasbro before long. If
Oh, yeah.
if they don't completely get away from action figures. But yeah, I did not find. I still have not found the Transformers Thunder machine at Ross yet, and I've been looking for. I know Shane wants one. I want one. I believe it's Mason or Gage. Can't remember now. Anyhow, I've been told about. We're looking out for one another, trying to find them, but I hadn't found them yet.
Yeah, I ain't found none either. If I find them, I'm gonna snatch every one I get. But finding them is gonna be the hard part.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. Yeah, because that set was quite a while ago, right?
Yeah, it come out. It come out what last spring maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was after the Hiss tank, right?
Yeah, it was after the Hiss tank.
Yeah.
And
Mason's the one that's looking for it. Okay.
Yep.
Anyhow, me and him been hitting the Oxford Ross every time we go, and I've been hitting the Gadsden one every once in a while too.
So we need at least 3, right?
At least
need at least
4 or 5.
Yeah, at least
4
3.
or 5. I'm going to hunt tomorrow, so that's the reason I asked.
At $10 or $20 a pop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think if anybody does find them, they probably buying all they got, which probably ain't very many.
Yeah, that class action lawsuit they fixing to go through is going to be a rough one.
Yeah, I wonder.
There'll be even bigger delay on the next round of action figures.
What is that feedback?
There's Mason. Okay.
You get that feedback, Shane?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Yeah, me too.
John's just
John now.
John muted. I wonder what it was. Wicked feedback. Anyways,
Had an ambulance been under the other day.
it's him.
What's going on outside?
You got a
John. I think
you got a tremendous amount of feedback coming through, John. Somehow.
Nancy's washing dishes. I guess it's.
Yeah, I know, it's your mic. You sound like a bumblebee all of a sudden.
How about now?
Went away.
Turned it off. Turned it back on.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's new with Alf? What's going on? What are you doing, Corey?
Hell, I don't think I got this week. Like I said, I got a lot in the mail. I got the 1943 Iron Grenadier.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, this thing, I didn't think this was going to be the nicest figures it is. Out of that set, I think he may be the best figure out of that Alpine Wave. Which I ain't got the other 3. 2 will be here tomorrow, and I think Alpine shows up Thursday.
Yeah, it's a nice.
Where did you order yours from?
Amazon.
Yeah, Paul still isn't.
I ordered it last Sunday during the show, and they're kind of. He was supposed to come in December the 6th, and Alpine, and the other one's supposed to be in December the 4th. But like I said, he trickled in Saturday, and the other 2 are there now, but you can't get them on Sunday. So
that's crazy. Yeah, I just got my email on Alpine, which we'll talk about that in a minute, from Pulse. So, yeah, it's a good figure. But it's like I said last week, it's very Nazi-esque. It's definitely SS.
I think I know. I'm gonna try to get another one and make a custom Destro out of Pimpstro's head until we get an Iron Grenadier Destro.
Yeah.
Well, this thing's got so much custom potential.
It's a cool figure.
It is a nice one.
But that and the Walmart Doctor Strange. That's pretty much all I got in the mail. And my Night Force motorcycle, like Shane's got, it's in the mail somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there.
But I ain't
Walmart's always.
I ain't done no hunting. I ain't done no hunting, but tomorrow I'm going to hunting tomorrow. So that's the reason I asked about the shatter machines. How many we needed.
Yep.
That's pretty much all I got.
No, it's not a bad week.
Ain't a good one either.
Anytime you find something, it's not a bad week.
That's right. I don't know. I mean, more pulse woes. I don't know. They sent me an email yesterday, actually. The new approximate ship date just for Alpine is December 18th, which is very strange. I got my Iron Grenadiers week before last, right? Storm Shadow and Iron Grenadier bats have yet to show up, and I don't have a shipping notification for those, but I've now been told that Alpine's been pushed back. I think this is the third time. I don't know. We've had this, this distribution discussion before, but I'm not sure. Pulse is getting things even remotely at the same time as the big box stores. So,
yeah, I think we all do, Mason.
Was it Hugo Boss? Hugo Boss was the famous designer that designed all those SS uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the way it was, but that's that was that whole superiority thing, right? They had to look the part. So,
yep.
So yeah.
Oh, Dave, right now on Amazon you can get Alpine between the 12th and the 6th, and he's 5% off.
Yeah, it'll sit there. I'm not worried about that much. Let them sit there. I'm right in the middle of everything. December 18th doesn't hurt my feelings any at all because that'll give me time to change my address with Hasbro before they ship. Because at this point in time, before the incident, I put in the equal drawing for that Deathstroke and that first appearance Robin, and of course I won both of those.
Nice.
So
congratulations.
But their shipping is notoriously slow, so I hope that doesn't turn into a giant mess. Yeah.
Were they in one thing on equal, or were they separate?
Separate.
Wow, and you won both?
I did.
Yeah. Did you go buy your lottery ticket?
No, couldn't get to Georgia. Too busy packing. I'm happy to have that Robin because that's really the one I wanted. To go with that blue Dick Grayson Batman because both of those were from that Grant Morrison storyline, which those will go. That's a great pair to have. The Deathstroke, I really whatever. I had absolutely zero expectation of winning either one of them, so I threw it in there anyways. Maybe one of you guys have use of him, but. That's that.
Yeah, I agree with Rick right there on the Storm Shadow.
Yeah.
All the extra stuff on it is just too much.
If you take that one thing off, though, I think you'll look pretty close to the original.
Yeah.
That one big bulky. I hadn't had the time to sit down and try to get mine off yet, but
I don't have him yet. So
all the waist gear.
Yeah, that whatever it is, look like a girdle or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the Storm Shadow was really controversial when they showed the digital reveals on that, because it's just, I don't know, man. It really doesn't have the same feel as the original, and the original is very cool. But I don't know.
I think it's all that extra stuff, like we was talking about. That's just what turned me off on it.
Yeah.
It's got all the extra red stuff on him,
It doesn't look like Storm Shadow.
Yeah. I think they do that to have it more modernized, and then they also turn around and tweak it and put it on the retro card looking more vintage.
Yeah.
So they can sell two instead of one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now that Tiger Force has run its course and Python Patrol, now they're looking at other ways to sell the same figure multiple times. So
yeah, for sure. So, my Batman Beyond Batmobile, that order that disappeared. I don't know if I told you guys about that or not. Could not find that order to save my life. Reappeared with a shipping notice.
Oh, that was nice.
That was cool. But that has said for about 4 days that my delivery date was yesterday, and it's just kind of sitting in Georgia, which is very strange because it was shipped from Las Vegas. So, because apparently Walmart, I ordered it on Walmart, and it was drop shipped from McFarlane's warehouse, which was very strange because that particular version of the Batmobile, you could only get it at Walmart or McFarlane, and they just used Walmart to drop ship, apparently. So, well, that's cool.
That's cool.
There you go. Which one are you missing? Who you want? Never know. It might be one skulking around here. Well, actually, it's packed, so never mind. Oh, yes. Yeah. Yep.
Are you having to pack up your life too, there, Dave?
Yeah. Everybody's life is getting packed up right now.
It happens when a car runs into your house.
Yeah, that's what happens when a car slams into your house. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting on to refurb my apartment, and I already got all my collectibles stuff what's behind me all packed up already.
Oh no, we've been packing for days and trying to find a house to move into because this house is getting worse. There's cracks over the doorway in the kitchen now. So the more we're moving around in here, the worse it's getting. So we're doing the best we can, but that's the way it is right now. So.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do this. I don't have any pictures because there aren't any pictures. How's that? But apparently a leaked list popped up that shows McFarlane has a 6-inch Super Friends line coming out. Based on the cartoons that we all had and loved so much when we were little kids. So at this point in time, it is showing as DC Retro 6-inch Wave 12, the Super Friends, and it is Batman and Batman Universe of Evil. Do you remember that do you guys remember that episode where it was like the Star Trek thing? They got into the negative dimension. It was like the Injustice Society or something. He was purple, if I remember right. So that Batman and Green Lantern and Lex Luthor, Sinestro, and the Riddler, which is a chase figure. So that's kind of cool. I'm very curious to see what these look like. I don't know. I'm hopeful for those. If that makes any sense. Absolutely no indication as to when, but that may be. That may be a sign that McFarlane is going to keep the DC license. It's very hard to tell with him because this information drops and then it's in the store, So as far as McFarlane reveals goes, March is a long time for him. So
I wonder because it seems like he's starting a whole lot of new teams, like the Outsiders and some of these others. I'm wondering if he's not planning on keeping it for a while.
I don't know. I don't know. Either that or, like I said, he's just trying to cash in while he can. I got no idea what's going on. Boy, he is really sucking up with Marvel at this point in time. So I don't know.
You know what surprises me about that wave, though? That 6-inch Super Friends wave?
What's that?
No Superman in that wave.
No, it's all villain heavy, which should actually make people happy.
Well, I get that, but McFarlane, when he first started with 7-inch, I think it was 2 Batmans and 2 Supermans. I think it was animated Superman and regular style Superman. And
the original was Action Comics 1000 Superman. It was the first Batman that everybody hated. It was the animated Superman, and it was animated Flash. And then the 5th figure in that line was the TV show Green Arrow. And for whatever reason, that animated Superman sat around forever. The animated Flash showed up in a wave again this past summer, which was kind of weird. I guess he bought his own stuff back or something and waited 4 years and threw them back out onto the market. But yeah,
a lot of older figures pop back up at Walmart and places.
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I seen at Walmart the other day a whole case of the Penguin from the Batman, the last Batman movie popped back up on the shelf.
Yeah. My target over here did that with Zod. There was a case of General Zods that showed up after 2 years, and they had everything all jammed up for the longest time. That Agent Liberty figure is not selling at all. Commander Steel, sorry. Agent Liberty was the CDCC one that they did this year. And Fire is everywhere now, where she was relatively hard to find before. The hard thing is I don't know what to make of it. Honestly, guys, we're basically at this point in time, we're 4 weeks away from the dreaded annual toy glut, right? Because after Christmas, you don't see squat for 3 months in the stores. So, granted,
I don't see squat in the stores now.
Well, and that's the hard thing. This hasn't been a great 6 or 8 months.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what's going to happen afterwards. You know,
Dave, I got a McFarlane heavy question to ask you.
I don't know if I'll be able to answer it, but
these page punchers, I see Heatwave and Captain Cold. When did they come out? Because Heatwave showed up first at my Walmart, and he's full price. Then Captain Cold showed up, and he's like almost half off now.
Yeah, he's on the clearance aisle.
Page Punchers, that Flash Wave came out last year. It was the first of the Page Puncher releases. Then they did the Aquaman line, and they just did this Superman line. And in between was that Caveman Batman stuff, which was kind of strange. Those figures are over a year old. I don't know why they're popping up now. No one wanted them to before. But yeah, they're showing up en masse. Captain Cold, I've seen cases of. That's really the one I've seen the most of. You'll never see the Grodd again because he was a mega figure. What's going on?
That was the same part of that Grodd wave.
Yep.
Because I remember the Grodd when it came out.
Yep, same one, same pack of figures for that. They all had that same comic in them. And then, like I said, they did the Aquaman ones, which weren't very, very honest truth. And then, like I said, this last one, the Superman, that weird stuff, the Brainiac, it's actually kind of cool. But the other figures are terrible. Now, with the releases, this Deathstroke and this Robin that I just won are actually Page Punchers too, but apparently they're not going to be connected like that. They're not going to be 4 or 5 figures with the same comic and it's all connected together. They're just going to be some kind of separate line. He got too much stuff going on. Honestly.
I'm looking for that Damian Wayne Robin with the cloth cape, and I'm also looking for that Deathstroke if I happen across it.
Yeah, they're not. Like I said, we just won the auctions on those, the equals on those. I don't know. I don't know when those will be in the stores.
I found one of those things at our Target.
You did, huh?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I hope Nancy cashed in for John up there and got him that King Shazam I found for him on there from Big Bad
Yeah.
Toy Store had for $5.
I heard she ordered him like 20 of them.
Yeah, John's favorite figure. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that was a good storyline. That infected storyline was actually very good. But and the Supergirl figure from that storyline would have been fantastic too, but they just didn't do it. So I guess it was kind of cool. Jim Gordon, Supergirl, Shazam, Nightwing were all infected by the Batman Who Laughs. It was actually a very good storyline, but they didn't. This is the thing with McFarlane, though. You're talking about him starting lines. He does start a lot of lines, but he doesn't care much about whether or not he finishes them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So as far as like starting new teams, he started the Outsiders when he did Black Lightning last year as a Walmart exclusive. Now you get Geoforce. I don't know if he really cares about, finishing the line. He's just kind of throwing things out there, and it's really, I have to be honest with you, it's pretty annoying at this point, especially now that it's another Walmart exclusive. It's possible that he started the Legion. So I just don't know. I really don't know what he's all over the map. He's just doing stuff. So
if I could have found the classic version of Lightning Lad, I'd have got it. But
I haven't seen
nothing about the new one.
I've seen that modern one quite a few times, but
Yeah.
I have not seen the classic one at all. So I don't know. I have to be honest with you. Beating a dead horse, but I have to be perfectly honest with you. That the Wonder Woman fumble. There's been two near fatal flaws, if not fatal flaws, with what he's done in Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman, period. We're not even going to go into the platinum version of that, which makes the problem 10 times worse. That and the platinum version of Hawkman, those were just about fatal flaws. It soured up a lot of people on that entire line, because those are two characters that everybody wanted, and they fumbled that bad. So I just don't know, man.
That's what gets me back McFarlane. He wants to put the classic stuff hard to get and this, that, and the other. We should be reversed. It should be classic stuff to be easy to get, and the variant should be what be able to get hard.
Or it should be all of them should be easy to get. That would be the main way to do it. That way you please everybody.
Well, how about we stop with? Let's stop with. Let's stop with trying to pass off repaints as something special, and just do your classic and your modern, right? And make them equally available. This whole nonsense of trying to pass off repaints as special, give us a break, would you please? I mean, we'll be more than happy to buy modern and classic, but you make it impossible to get one or the other, and he alternates. My next question, that question figure, that's one that everybody wants. And again, he looks like he very much so like he pulled a Wonder Woman with that one. Yeah, see, there's Timothy found one.
That's one thing I'm kicking myself in the head over. I found one of the questions and I should have got it and I didn't.
Yeah, you should have. You should have given it to me while you were at it, but no, see. I haven't seen any. But it does tick me off that I've done pretty well with that. But that the muted, the superpowers type colors Wonder Woman, that's going to cost me a fortune to get that figure, and that ticks me off.
Yeah.
There's 4 different versions of the question. I knew there was a black one, and I knew there was a blue one. What are the other 2? Or are they just like variants of paint still? We're not getting Renee Montoya question, are we? I mean, there's not. We don't
Talk
have a.
about being a completist and Dylan McFarlane. Woo,
No,
you can't be with him.
No,
You
he
can't be
eliminated. John was 100% spot on that one. He eliminated the possibility of 95% of his customers being completists by limiting numbering things. See, so there is a female version of the question. Renee Montoya. I haven't. You got any pictures of that? Because I haven't seen that at all. That would be cool to have. I'd actually rather have the Montoya one than I would the classic one. But that's interesting.
I take McFarlane with a grain of salt. I try to get the Bat family and any other ones I like. I run across because it's just too expensive to chase this stuff down.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
No way.
you're 100% right. And it's crazy because there's been a lot of store exclusives and McFarlane site exclusives, and then there was different show exclusives, and then there was the platinums and the golds and the store exclusives, and then the online exclusives. He has driven everybody nuts with this crap.
Mhm.
So I mean, I have a lot of his figures, but and nowhere near complete. And I don't even want it to be any. I don't do the movie figures anyways. So, and those are horror show. Geez, even this horrible Justice League Task Force Build-A-Figure wave that everybody hates from that video game that's 35 years old. That has an entire wave of platinums.
Oh wow.
That's crazy.
That has different variants of all four, plus the Darkseid Build-A-Figure is a variant. So it's just like, man, you've lost it, buddy. This is just greed, pure and simple.
I'm not a fan of the big digital shading anyway, so I can pass on all that.
It's very weird. I don't know. They're not good figures. I don't know. They were a waste of plastic, if you ask me. They were a waste of design time when we haven't. We can't get Wonder Woman, but we get 5 figures. Well, actually, we're getting 10 figures from an obscure video game from 35 years ago. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I remember playing the video game, and I liked the video game, but I just don't like the digital shading.
No. Nope. So the best thing he's done in a long time was that Brayfogle Batman. That is a fantastic figure. But that one was $50 and sold out instantly too. So I don't know.
Anybody got the numbers on the Joker De Niro 2-pack? Is it sold out yet?
That is never going to happen.
No.
But speaking of,
so that's going to be the new red label. The Montoya question will be one of the new reds. I don't know. I was a little discouraged because I did get went through all of the damage and stuff, and that list was. And Seth came over from Sasquatch. What day did Seth show up? What, Friday? Saturday? I don't remember. Friday or Saturday. Seth came over and got some pictures and made lists and stuff, and was going to be cooking up an estimate on that, which is going to be considerably higher than I was thinking. Because he's right. We started talking about the idea of maybe, and I guess this is a collector thing, right? Where you're kind of like, geez, maybe we should just price this all out by parts. And he was and we talked about it, and he said, you do realize that some of these parts that you're going to be trying to chase down, it might be a year or two before you could even find them. And that is true about the Defiant specifically.
Oh,
and he said, and you do realize that, and he's right, because it's happened to me numerous times. You go start messing around trying to replace parts on these things, 80% of the time you're going to break something else. And that won't be covered in the future. So it's kind of bad. My new Superpowers Batmobile got damaged. My Curse of the Dark Knight McFarlane Batmobile from this year, that got damaged. A couple of Jurassic Park pieces did get damaged. My I don't know if you guys ever saw it or not. My big model of the Raptor paddock that I have, that was made by that architect down in Mexico City. That got damaged. I mean, the Defiant, there isn't a major component on the Defiant that isn't broken or damaged. Mauler, Whale, Mobat.
And all your mint sealed vintage G.I. Joe stuff got destroyed.
Oh,
right?
yeah, those were damaged so bad I can't even find them.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get pictures of all of that, but they were smashed into dust.
That sealed Terradrome and sealed Defiant you had.
I had pieces of Terradrome get broken. One of my gun doors got broken, and one of the turrets did get busted because they were off to the side because I was messing with them because I had the stacked Terradromes, so I didn't have the turrets on the bottom one.
Mm-hmm.
And Emmett had the doors all open and laid out on the bottom one. So, yeah, one of them got smacked with something and busted that top hinge. And one of the wings on one of the gun turrets got snapped off. My flag did get hit with something, the antenna, the mesh antenna, the square antenna on the side of the superstructure, that got smacked. I don't know what hit it, but something went flying by because so much stuff went flying around in there. So I'm not buying anything right now. Not that I can, because it's just kind of dumb to have stuff to pack it, and especially not really even having any idea where we're going yet or what the space is going to be. So that's kind of my pickups for the week. Is I'm still waiting on stuff to get delivered that I ordered a while ago, and those two equal wins. That's kind of it. Boys are bugging about a Christmas tree, but we don't have a house to put it in, so that's kind of much sense in moving one of those right now. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's that was my pickups for the week. Nothing. I'm not even shopping at this point. And kids were like, "Can we go to the store?" It's like, no sense of going to the store.
No sense.
No sense of going to the store. So, and you mentioned that modern Joker. I was going to leave mine in the package, but guess what happened?
Package got damaged.
That box got damaged. So, he'll end up being open, but still, that's mine. It's a $20 thing. That's mine. But still, it's just aggravation.
Oh yeah,
because,
that's aggravating.
Geez, that one of those Jurassic World sets I bought on clearance for like $50 at Walmart over a year ago. It's $80 now. It's just the way it goes. And then I saw that joke on Toy News International. Did you see that fake headline that they put up on Black Friday?
No, I didn't see it.
What did it say? Collectors worldwide in panic because collection value drops by 50% due to Black Friday prices. That's about right. That was funny, but you get the gist of it. I mean, it was like most of this modern stuff is, some of it's holding its value, if not inflating. About 80% of it isn't.
Oh.
Found the Platinum Speed Force Barry Allen Flash at GameStop yesterday. Which one is that? I don't even know which one that is, Timothy, honestly. Was that
I saw a digital, one of the digital figures. It said Flash Speed Force, and it was like his feet, his lower legs, and his boots were translucent.
Is that the one from the... No, that's not... Is that the one from that video game? I didn't think the boots were translucent. Speed Force.
This was in one of over in the electronics in the collector's area in Walmart. It was has the digital where you buy the 3 figures.
Oh, the digital. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. I guess I lost track of that one. I knew that was coming out. That's the remake of the one from the Cyborg, the Target exclusive, right? The one that everybody wanted, the very expensive figure now, originally had to target the Build-A-Figure cyborg wave. And he had the removable, the unmasked face, but I don't think this new one does. But it's supposedly the same figure, right? Is that the one we're talking about? Let me see.
Can you
Flashpoint.
see that?
Flashpoint.
Oh, well, you know what? It does come with both heads, and that's the difference that he did, right? He made the feet translucent so that he didn't re-release the figure. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's
Is that
what
what
he
you're talking
does.
about, Dave?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you. Yeah,
Nice.
cool.
I wouldn't mind having that.
that's. I mean, I have the original.
Put it on the list.
That's
Or
not a bad. That's not a bad version for everybody that missed out on the first one. It's not terrible at all. That's cool. It's like the Bane, the Bane re-release. It's not the same Bane. He's done that quite a few. That issue 1000 of Action Comics Superman. That's not the same figure,
No.
So he said right along, you get it the first time, you don't get it at all without going to the secondary market, but he'll make changes or repaints or whatever. So, well,
Because I got the first Superman. It's packed up, so I can't do a comparison. I got the new one here a few weeks ago.
Yep. Boy, we've stirred up so much dust in this house in the last few days. Boy. Anyways, no, cool. I'm glad you got one to me, dude. That's cool. Yeah, the Flashpoint Flash remake. Yes, that's the best way of putting it. Yeah. And that figure is way over $100 now from that wave because that's a classic Flash figure that everybody wanted and couldn't get. So, but there were other figures in that wave that sat on clearance, which is the strangest thing. But it is what it is.
I think my favorite figure out of that wave was Thomas Wayne Batman.
Yeah, but that one was a reissue of the original that came with the guns.
Yeah, that's the one I got. The one with the guns.
Yep. So, and he had the 5 o'clock shadow, if I remember right. He had more of a.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That one was a Target exclusive. Walmart come out with one with an unmasked head.
Yes. Yeah, I got all of those. And now this last one that they released just this past week, the Professor Zoom Thomas Wayne 2-pack, which is the Zoom figure is different, but the Thomas Wayne looks exactly the same. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Too much stuff. Way too much stuff. Like I said, he's really just flooding the market, and he honestly he's devaluing his own brand with the quantity of stuff that he is putting out. And it still makes me wonder if he's not trying to cash out, make as much off that as he possibly can in a short period of time. Because I don't know, I can see him. I can see him wanting that Marvel license more than the DC license, because let's face it, toy lines run 4 or 5 years, and then that's about it. Well, he's going to slam right into year 6 next year, so he's about run its course. Guess we're going to find out. But well, anyways, what else are we going to talk about?
John wanted me to share this.
Cool. Oh, that's terrible. Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, I just got an email today. It was in stock.
Yeah, this is
Or
their
on the
latest
website for order.
latest figure obscure, the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Okay, so I saw this like 15 minutes before we came on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you guys had said, I was looking at Timothy's. There you go. When we were at Toylanta, there was the Headless Horseman,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you guys said that wasn't part of the regular
No,
Mythic Legions line. So is this one part of that line?
it's part of that line. Yeah, the figure
Okay.
obscure line.
There
That's
we
what
go.
these are called. They have a Bob Marley out. Several others.
Mm-hmm.
A Headless Horseman. Christmas, like a Santa Claus, Saint Nick one.
Yeah.
And then
That's
this
what
is
They got a
new
Bob Marley. That's
Yeah.
cool, man.
That's what
Wrong
That's
one.
cool.
The Santa
Wrong one,
Claus is the
Corey.
one they pictured with the moose, and that's what made the
I
moose
thought-
all of a sudden so popular.
Yeah.
I thought his name was Jacob Marley, but okay.
Jacob Bob Marley.
It's
Yeah,
Bob
man.
Cratchit.
Bob.
Yeah, that's right. It's Bob Cratchit, Jacob Marley.
I don't remember the Ghost of Christmas Past having 4 arms, but apparently it's
Christmas.
Hey,
I guess it's their take on it. I don't know. It's a cool looking figure though. I mean, it's really.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, she definitely got 4 arms.
Oh yeah, definitely got 4 arms.
She's a big, big, big advocate for the Second Amendment. I was waiting for that. Somebody had to have gotten that joke. Come on, man. Wake up, people. I know we're all tryptophaned out from all that turkey 3 days ago. Come on.
I'm thinking she may be the ultimate gold digger. She got a hand for your wallet, savings account, 401k.
She's a ghost. I don't know if she needs any of that.
Well, she has a Ghost of Christmas Past, so your wallet will be
That's right.
about the past.
That's right. Yeah, interesting figure. Boy, they do good. They do good work.
Is she going to
what?
cost you 2 arms and a leg?
No,
Yeah, exactly.
I think
This-
it's $55 or $60.
Yeah, I think it said $60. Yeah.
60, yeah. This would look really nice next to Corey's Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
So he needs
I
to get on
mean,
there.
No, that's okay.
He might as well.
Might as well get you one. You said it
No,
toy show
Corey's
next
all-
time. They want it anyway. So
Now Corey's already eyeing another product. They got a cool looking Frankenstein. I've been trying to find at a reasonable price.
Well, your best bet to order it off their page, because that'll be the best you get.
Yeah, because this is a store. This is a Horseman exclusive, right? You have to get it from their website.
Well, I think retailers, some of the retailers do get them,
Oh, okay.
because the Jacob Marley, he was the same way, and they released him out to some of their retailers. It's like Timothy said, he saw them at Replay Toys. Was that in Birmingham, Timothy? You saw them, or Huntsville? They are. I like them. Their figures are really cool, and their customer service is A1.
Better than NECA.
Oh, we'll talk about that tonight. That hot mess. Birmingham and the Galleria.
In the Galleria. They're in the Galleria. Replay Toys is in the Galleria now?
Wouldn't that be Hoover? That'd be in Hoover.
they got to look. Did they move or they just?
I was going to say, they weren't in the Galleria when they were opening. They were down off 280.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
in the Galleria now?
Huh.
Good for them. I don't know. Never been back.
They've already moved stores. But yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool looking figure.
I got the thing. It's called Frankenstein's Creature. I think is what it's called.
Yeah, it's done been out for a while now.
Yeah, I know it. Best I can find is $140.
You looking on eBay?
That's where I've been finding it.
Go to Big Bad Toy Store. They should have it.
That sold out.
Oh, they sold it already?
Yeah.
Entertainment Earth.
I don't deal with Entertainment Earth after the whole Bane debacle.
That's cool.
Yeah. Super Powers Flash and based on
Still in the package. Oh,
Pretty
well, that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, Flash was
How much do you end up
very
paying for
first
that?
waves, wasn't
We paid an arm and a leg for that one. At least an arm.
If it was a cyborg figure, he was definitely would have.
For real.
That and loose goes for a lot of money. I hate
Yeah,
to see
it
one in
does.
the package.
Yeah, big money. Big money.
Oh man,
Ain't that the trouble?
you had something creep up behind you there, Dave. Whew.
I did. I'm about to swat it. It'll go away.
You better get some mace.
Naughty not.
It's a bear spray.
Yeah.
In case anybody was wondering, like I said, I finally opened this. Got to open this right before the show started. This Huntress. But in case anybody's curious about that, hadn't opened one of them yet. The thing just pops off and it's got like a peg inside.
She's now a Cyclops.
Yeah.
So then you could put
I need to get one of hers too. One of
So the transition is still good. It doesn't look wonky or like.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty good. I mean,
oh, that's nice. That's a cool way of doing things, I guess.
Yeah. This one don't have there's two of one of them. The other head's her smiling. That with the wings, but this one don't have the wings. I guess there was another version where she didn't have the wings.
Yeah.
But it's actually got extra hair, as you can see.
Oh yeah.
And I wondered how that was going to fit in there, but when you put it in there, it actually goes pretty well. You can't really tell it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what she looked like for years.
Yeah. The wings come first, or this come first?
Oh, the wings were much older.
The wings come first.
Yeah.
That's the platinum, ain't it, John?
It is the platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah, the regular. I've got the regular one, and she's the new modern version with the white cross on the front of her uniform.
Yeah, that's the new 52 version, wasn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
New 52.
Yeah,
right,
I wanted it because I remember the classic. I'd read some of the issues from the classic, and the classic version was the one I wanted. So
yeah,
I wasn't really. The new 52 is okay and all, but like I said, I'm more about the early 90s and back,
right.
Instead of all this new stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I need it for my Batman self.
Geo Force has got two different faces too for his.
So we get that particular figure. Terra from the Titans can't be too far behind, I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's one that they never did in the DC universe.
They didn't.
And,
DC Direct's got a pretty decent Terra figure.
a lot of people. I remember a lot of people wanted her when that line was going strong.
Yeah.
And,
Yep. Very cool. So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We talk about.
We still got the other news, the Hasbro news.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we do. I mentioned it briefly last week about the class action lawsuit with the fire department pension fund. For those of you who didn't catch on to that, a class action lawsuit was filed against Hasbro because what they did was apparently in 2019 and 2000 specifically, there was a tremendous amount of inventory that they had in warehouses. And I think it's because COVID distribution was so screwed up that this is the allegation anyways, that Hasbro ended up with way too much inventory sitting in warehouses. So some brainiac at Hasbro decided to turn around and present that as purposeful, that it was one of these our future is so bright we got to wear shades deals, right? So our future is so bright that we have to have all this inventory sitting here to meet our projected future demand.
No. It says
and they
our inventory is so bright that we have to hide it.
Okay, thanks. Then what they did was they passed that all off as a selling point to, well, mutual funds and other investors and whatnot to have investors start buying stock in Hasbro because, again, it was looking so great. Well, the fact of the matter is that, and we all know it because this is all the stuff that ended up at Ross and Ollie's and TJ Maxx and, all of the rest of it. That was a pretty significant liability. All of that was peddled off as a huge loss. And these pension funds that invested in Hasbro lost a ton of money for their pensioners, right? So now that class action lawsuit's been filed. Basically a pretty serious accusation of securities fraud and misrepresentation and everything else by Hasbro in an attempt to boost its stock price. Now, yesterday, guys, I think the first I heard of it was yesterday, possibly Friday. Elon Musk decides that I don't know how serious it is, if it was just a passing comment or what, but that's the deal. And you guys some of you have probably seen this, that he kind of hinted at buying Hasbro. Now, last I heard, Hasbro wasn't for sale, but everybody knows, I guess, Elon Musk is a huge gamer. In the 20 in the world for Diablo 4. That's pretty impressive.
Is it him buying Hasbro or him buying Dungeons and Dragons from Hasbro?
No, he specifically asked how much is Hasbro. I guess was the quote on X or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Now here's the deal. We've had this discussion a lot recently that this Chris Cox at Hasbro is very much so wanting to take Hasbro out of the toy game and go a completely digital company, right? Producing video games and digital content. They dropped movies. You're not gonna co-fund any more entertainment on that level. And it's then all of a sudden this class action lawsuit, which actually could really crash, really cripple and bankrupt Hasbro, happens. And then just a few days later, Elon Musk comes in with this comment. I don't think any of that is coincidental, and I don't think it's accidental. I think Elon Musk is probably figuring he's wanted to have a company that makes digital content for quite a while, apparently. If he could distress buy Hasbro, right? And I think that's important. It would be a distress sale, just like Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. If they're in big trouble and they need to be bought out, bailed out, however it is, and basically released from those lawsuits, a way to do it would be sell. And I think I don't know, guys. I think he fancies himself as a big video game producer, and if he could own the name Hasbro, you know what I mean? It's like it's built-in credibility, if that's the right built-in market, something. We wouldn't have to start from scratch, is what I'm trying to say. So,
see, when I read the article, I took it. If you read here, it said Musk seems to want the rights to Dungeons and Dragons for upcoming game studio. I think all he's wanting to do is get Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think he's want to dabble in the toy business at all.
No, and you want the honest truth? It would work out good because I don't think Hasbro wants to dabble in the toy business anymore. You see what I'm saying? They want to go into licensing. They want to license off their licenses and they want to go digital. Well, this would be the guy to do it.
Oh yeah. And then on down, he says, in another part of the article, he says something about here are too many game studios that are owned by massive corporations. Musk wrote in a quoted post, XAI is going to start an AI game studio to make games great again. So I figure it's just going. He just wants the Dungeons and Dragon license.
It's not for sale. He'd have to buy the whole company.
Yeah. But if anybody can buy it would be him.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. After this lawsuit, they may be willing to sell off Dungeons and Dragons just to kind of recover.
And they don't have anything left but Dungeons and Dragons.
But actually, Dungeons and Dragons is owned by Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, but they own Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, but they own it. But I think the license is with the Wizards of the Coast, from my understanding.
Yeah, I don't think it's accidental. I really don't. You know how these big money guys are. They're like vultures that way. And I don't care if you like Elon Musk or not. It makes no difference. He's in business. This is what they do. They circle.
Exactly.
They smell death, and they will swoop in and buy these companies when they know full well they're about ready to go belly up, whether it be from mismanagement or fraud or lawsuits or whatever.
Kind of like Twitter.
There's a big statement in itself.
Tondo, project lead for D&D, separately explain the changes made. Well,
right.
See, this is the thing. They have come under a huge amount of criticism for AI generating a huge amount of that new guidebook.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, at this point in time, AI is not sentient. It is not thinking. It's on its own. It's truly artificial intelligence. All it is an algorithm that is processing what it's been told, right? And it mimics decision making, and it mimics creativity. But all it's doing is taking from here and taking from here and taking. It's not creating anything out of thin air.
It's taking from stuff it knows and putting it to make something.
Yes, but how does it know it? That is all inputted, or it's actually but that's the point. The internet is woke. The internet is progressive. The internet has lost its freaking mind. So if you let AI run wild by writing content for D&D, what's it gonna come up with?
Exactly.
But the fact of the matter is it was probably infinitely cheaper to have AI write that thing in less than 2 hours than it was going to pay Lord knows how many actual human beings to do it over a year and a half or 2 years.
Yep.
A lot of the artwork apparently on the new cards for Wizards of the Coast with what's the other game?
Magic.
Yeah, that's all AI generated because they're saving a fortune. So I don't think Hasbro is anywhere near as healthy as they're trying to make it out to be, and I think Elon Musk probably knows that. So I don't doubt for a second he actually knows that. He would know that. So I don't know.
All the articles I read, and the way I take it is that the people, Wizards of the Coast, they had like a tabletop tournament or con type deal. And one of their CEOs kind of badmouthed the original Dungeons and Dragons creator.
They did,
which got Elon involved because he is a fanboy of Dungeons and Dragons.
He's of that age, sure.
Right, and Elon is wanting to create a AI video game company where the game can actually think for itself, and he kind of wants the Dungeons and Dragons. That's going to be their base game starting out.
Mm-hmm.
He wants the Dungeons and Dragons rights, but Hasbro won't sell it. So he made the comment, "How much is Hasbro?"
Right, because this is where, and that makes thank you, Cord, because that makes perfect sense. And to tell you the truth, it certainly doesn't agree with my opinion and I still have it. I don't believe Hasbro is going to be in the toy business after 2025. I really don't. I think they will license off Transformers and G.I. Joe. if they go after Star Wars and Marvel and get them again in the next couple of months, I think they'll sub-license those out too. I don't think they want anything to do with toys anymore.
But here's the deal with Elon. If he bought something like that, if he can make money, he's going to make money at it.
Oh yeah,
sure.
So I don't know if he'd sell off G.I. Joe and Transformers or keep the toy line or not, but he's really wanting Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, yeah, I think he'd do exactly what Hasbro was already planning on anyways, is trying to license them off.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to keep them. He owns them. He'll license them off, and somebody else can produce toys if they want to, because I strongly believe that's exactly what Hasbro is going to do after next year anyway.
I believe you're right.
I think this whole shift to India is to prove the marketability. They'll, and the manufacturing savings of going to India for licensees. Yeah, it's just, license them off. He doesn't even need to sell them off. A lot of them he can license off. Or just don't bother with it anymore.
He's wanting to make an AI generated, a thinking video game with Dungeons and Dragons and bringing it back to the old school way of doing it instead of the modern.
And that's, I have to be honest with you guys. I know absolutely nothing about D&D. I know it has a huge following. It has had a huge following for literally 50 years. It's a lot older than most people think.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris Cox, if you look at what Chris Cox has said over and over and over again, this move to Boston, and we've had this discussion, I'm telling you, I don't believe Hasbro wants anything to do with producing toys anymore. Not at the corporate level. I just don't. They want to go digital.
Yep.
And Elon Musk, you know what? They're in trouble. I really do believe this class action lawsuit could be really crippling to them. And I don't know, man. I don't see. I maybe I'm nuts, but I really do. I think 2025 is the last year that Hasbro makes toys. I really do. I think by this time next year, we'll be waiting to see what it's going to look like. Because I got to tell you, I'm looking at Mason comment. Boy, I tell you what, Mattel having the license to G.I. Joe would be a coup. What, 70 years, 60 years in the making, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because G.I. Joe is what made Hasbro.
Yep.
In 1964. Wow. Yeah. And they had, but Mattel was their only competition, and they had Barbie. They had Barbie and Hot Wheels, right? Not 1964, they didn't.
After that, they did.
No.
In 1982, the same time Joe's came out.
Mm-hmm.
G.I. Joe is much older than He-Man.
Yeah, Joes are much older.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Tim, I can see that.
That would be a huge coup, but I have to be perfectly honest with you. Mattel, if you've seen, we talked about this too, you've seen those new Hot Wheels commercials that Mattel is doing.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, those are some of the best toy commercials ever. But isn't it interesting that they're talking about action figures, right? Creativity and play, and not Matchbox racetracks and stuff, but it fits. They're making it work. I got to tell you, man, I think Mattel is the only company left that actually loves toys.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense to you?
Well, they genuinely are a toy company. They don't do anything else.
So is Hasbro. So are the rest of them. But I don't think they actually love toys like Mattel loves toys. I really don't.
Well, I don't think that Mattel has ever made like video games or anything.
Well, there's been a lot of. I was looking at Timothy's comment here. Mattel gets Joe's, McFarlane gets Marvel, and Star Wars to Playmates. I don't know if there's anything to it. You know how you get these slips sometimes where people start saying things that it's based on things that they've heard. This, I don't know where this came from, and I don't even know if it's actually possible. But there was a lot of talk about Jada toys, a lot of excitement around the idea of Jada toys ending up with the Star Wars license because they could do so much with it because they're a hungry company, they're innovative, so on, so on, so on.
What does Jada make?
Not a whole lot right now, but that's why I said I don't even know if it's possible if they could do it.
Where are they specifically known for making?
They do a lot of movie stuff, don't they?
Who's
Like-
that? Jada?
Yeah, they do a lot of cars, right?
Small cars and stuff.
So
But they are getting into the Scooby Doo line.
yeah, so I've heard it from 3 or 4 different sources that there was a lot of excitement over the idea that Jada specifically getting the Star Wars line. I don't know if there's anything to that or not. I will say this. The rumor is and has been for a number of years that Hasbro is absolutely disgusted with Disney and probably doesn't want the Star Wars license again because of the hassle and the losses that they figure that they've lost $1 billion just in the last couple of years because of Disney.
Yeah, I think that
I
they
don't know
do
if it
Sonic
is or not.
toys.
So
I know.
maybe that's misplaced chatter. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's not. I don't know, but it does look like McFarlane. And let's face it, old Todd, he's always favored Marvel, anyways. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if he was gunning for the Marvel license.
I got 4 action figures for Jada, and it's the some of the Universal monsters, and they're all excellent.
It's an interesting idea, but I still think that Hasbro doesn't want to be a toy company anymore. They want to be a play company. I don't think they want to be a toy company anymore.
I think Jada also makes the Mario stuff also.
I think I saw.
Yeah, I believe
They make the Street Fighter figures,
Yeah.
and they're really nice figures. Those
Yeah.
Street Fighter figures are nice.
Also,
I can see. I see Elon buying them, and keeping what he wants, and basically selling off the rest.
Yeah, oh yeah. If he does try to buy it, that's what will happen.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
I'm trying to see if they give me any kind of Jada toys, diecast collectibles, RC cars, and figures. But yeah, I mean, look, Elon Musk would license out G.I. Joe. He'd license out Transformers. Everything else that Hasbro has, other than a few things here and there, they don't even own anyways. They license them themselves.
Sure.
So, Harry Potter stuff. What else?
I just don't know how I feel about G.I. Joe's being made by anybody other than Hasbro. I mean, I get Super 7's doing the cartoon ones and all, and that's fine, but the main line, I just don't know how I feel about somebody else doing it other than Hasbro.
What about Bobby Valley?
No.
Don't think so.
He ain't got the money for it. The truth is he doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the production capabilities to handle the Joe line. He can say that he does, but he doesn't. Cars. Jada has the Cars license already from Disney. That's interesting.
Yep.
Fast and the Furious. That's I don't know if that's a thing, but they got Harry Potter diecast figures. I don't know. It's interesting
They have
that
some Transformer stuff.
I know they're
DC and Marvel cars with the little metal figurines.
Yeah. They did the DC line too. Remember the Gotham City Sirens?
Yep.
They had the
I know their service is great because I got that Dracula and his cape was kind of messed up, and I just emailed them back, just mentioned it. 2 days later, I had one in the mail.
oh, that was the company that I got that advent calendar with the Pokemon things in,
Yes.
and the service sent a replacement.
So here's the thing, Timothy, and this was there was a lot of excitement talking about, wouldn't it be cool if the same toy house had both DC and Marvel? It kind of came out that was somehow discussed when this whole idea of the licenses coming up. They said right flat out, Disney would never agree to both Marvel and DC being produced by the same company. And I have to tell you, I kind of agree with that because I don't see Disney being cooperative in that way. So that may have been bunk. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it really wouldn't surprise me the way Disney behaves, to be perfectly honest with you.
I wouldn't mind Mattel picking up the Joe Liner. Not,
I wouldn't know.
They probably
I think they would actually do it some justice.
Just don't let them have some Super 7 have them.
Oh no.
No, I don't think that would ever happen. And you know what? I'm in 100% agreement with John on this. There's something about anybody doing G.I. Joe other than Hasbro that's just like, there's something terribly wrong in the natural universe because that's just not right. You know what I mean? But I have to tell you, if you'd asked us in 1988 if any other company other than Kenner could do Star Wars, we probably would have said the same thing.
Probably.
And now we're 30 years into Hasbro, you know, I mean.
And they've actually done okay.
Well, like technically Hasbro absorbed Kenner, so
No, they
in
bought
a
them,
way
yeah.
it's still Kenner, but it's
Yeah,
also
well,
Hasbro.
Yeah, but you know, I'm beginning to wonder if Hasbro isn't going to end up getting absorbed at this point because, boy, I don't know.
Wouldn't that be something if Mattel bought Hasbro?
I don't know if Mattel could buy Hasbro.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know if they. I don't know.
It'd be a big purchase.
Be like Kmart buying Sears.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
right.
see how that turned out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a great analogy, isn't it? Because that's exactly what happened, isn't it?
And it didn't end well.
Most
'cause
people
they're
don't.
both
Most
closed
kids nowadays don't even know what Kmart or Sears is.
Yeah.
I miss Kmart.
I do too.
I know
I miss
both of them.
Kmart and Sears,
Oh,
honestly.
me too.
I've been to both of them.
I mean, Sears was around for 200 years, and
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's gone. It's sad, really.
I was watching what the heck was it? We were watching something the other day, and it was like turn of the last century stuff, and the father was sitting at the table, and the mother was wandering around in the kitchen cooking, and the kids were coming and going and everything. And what was he doing? He was sitting there thumbing through the Sears catalog of farm implements, right? Sears and Roebuck catalog, because that's what they did. That's how they got their tools and everything else for farming. Interesting. So that's enough of that. I don't know, guys. I like I said, I may be completely nuts, but I really don't think Hasbro has any. Chris Cox specifically, and if you guys go do your research and look up the board of directors that's running Hasbro right now, that is not a toy company anymore. One of them came from Harley Davidson. One of them came from John Deere. Right? These are not toy company executives. These are executives that want a corporation to make money. They don't care what it makes. You know what I'm saying? They are not heart set on continuing to make toys.
If video games don't make money, they're going to make vehicles.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but video games don't make money. And that's why I have to be honest with you.
Hasbro car.
I think this focus on video games is a colossal mistake. I really do. Console games, especially, no one buys them anymore. It's all right here. And these are cheap scrollers that just make money, right? They're ridiculously addictive.
Have you ever tried a clicker game?
it's just no one's interested in consoles anymore. If you don't think so, look at how poor the sales of the consoles themselves have been over the last couple of years. It's not good, and I don't know. I wouldn't. I tell you what, and for what little I know, right, and maybe it's just nostalgic nonsense on my part. I don't think Hasbro ever should have pulled out of the industry, the entertainment side of things. I think they should have doubled down on the entertainment side of things, scrapped all of this AI digital garbage, and started focusing on media push and content to sell toys, because that's what's always worked. That is what's always worked. And
You know what's
forget
ironic,
about the
though?
movie line. Stop producing content in toys for movies that you're not producing yourself, because you're completely out in the cold on that one if it goes south. These writers or directors make a piece of trash. You got tens of millions of dollars tied up in toys that you're never going to sell. You know, if you don't have control over the media, don't make toys based on that. That's my thoughts. They should have doubled down on media, not pulled out of it.
And it's funny because you don't see any like advertisements for the classified figures, not even on YouTube.
No, because it's not a kid's line. It's not. The classified line is not for children.
Well, it's actually 4. It's 4 and up, so technically they should.
But
See, G.I. Joe used to have commercials all the
That
time.
has to
They
do-
come on about 3:30, 4 o'clock every day, and it was about 30 minutes long.
Well, I'm telling you, man, you can't. There's something wrong with all of these companies that just have thrown their hands up and go, well, gee, that's the way the world is now. The way the world is now is because you guys all gave up years ago. Right? And that's the truth. They gave up. They absolutely gave up. Hasbro started the HUD. Remember the HUD? Their own TV network? Well, you guys all know what happened with that, right?
Yeah.
They launched it long before they had enough content to keep it afloat. That was the mistake. And let's face it, the content wasn't that great. So just you guys don't know what the normalcy bias is. You ever heard of the normalcy bias? I had to do a lot of stuff with the normalcy bias with active shooter stuff and everything else. The normalcy bias is if something I'm reading Mason's comment, and this is what it reminds me of, and we all do it. Normalcy bias is we kind of get programmed into being comfortable with certain ideas, right? Like this is one. John and I are dealing with it right this second, right? G.I. Joe equals Hasbro. Hasbro equals G.I. Joe.
I have a
So
comfortable idea.
our normalcy bias is Hasbro makes G.I. Joe, right? And we have a hard time processing the idea of anybody else doing that, right?
I have one.
Please stop.
When I pick
Here's
up
the
this cash, you
thing.
won't
Here's
like
the
it.
thing. All of us, our normalcy bias is Hasbro makes toys, right? And there's always going to be toys. Well, that's not necessarily true. That's what we want. That's what we believe. That's what makes us comfortable. But may not necessarily be true. And we all have a hard time coping with things like that, right? This is what happens in high stress situations when you crash into somebody's normalcy bias. They can't process it. You guys have been in a car accident. If you've been in a real serious accident, we used to call it shock. Well, shock is a reaction to your normalcy bias coming down around your ears, where that doesn't happen. I've driven hundreds of thousands of miles and I've never had a serious accident. I could not have been in a serious accident, right? This is kind of the same thing. I'm like Mason said, I personally believe, just where I see it, Hasbro will change focus, but continue Joe, Transformers, Mr. Potato Head, and their in-house toys only while dumping Disney. And that's all that will happen. I'm not being critical, Mason. Don't misunderstand me, because There's a part of me that would very much so like that to be true. But the fact of the matter is the business of it all says that can't be true because they can't keep it afloat. It doesn't even make good business sense for them to do that, especially where they dropped the media now. They want digital. I hate to break this to you. Chris Cox does not care about G.I. Joe, Transformers, Mr. Potato Head, or any of the heritage or traditions that Hasbro has established over the years.
I personally didn't even know they did Mr. Potato Head.
Chris Cox cares about making money and keeping the investors happy so that they continue to keep him in that job where he can make 6 or 7 figures a year. He doesn't care about G.I. Joe. He doesn't care about Transformers. He doesn't care about Hasbro. He cares about his job.
Can
Can
anybody tell me what the number one product Hasbro makes?
Transformers.
That makes money.
Transformers. It came out in the quarterly report. Yes.
Really?
Yes, Corey.
I thought
it came out in the quarterly report. Transformers was the moneymaker for this year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought making Play-Doh.
No, Transformers was the moneymaker because it was the 40th anniversary. It's an anomaly, right? This year was an anomaly because it's an anniversary year for Transformers, and they said so in the report. It's because it was the 40th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, G.I. Joe was one of the 3 profitable lines. Play-Doh was in the top 3.
Well, because Play-Doh
last
is
year.
Play-Doh.
But let's look at it this way. Hasbro has also taken, what did they say in that report? Shane will remember. They gave the numbers on Nerf. Remember? 2 years ago, Nerf was over $1 billion in sales. And these guys came in, and Nerf isn't even in the top 10 anymore. Because they don't care about toys.
Well, you can look at go to the toy aisles and look. The Nerf section has shrunk down to hardly nothing.
Yep. Now, how is it that a company that cares about toys lets that happen?
Exactly.
They don't care about toys.
They don't.
Poor man.
I mean, as crazy as that all sounds, it's just the truth.
Yeah, last year their top sellers was board games, Play-Doh, and G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And then it just completely flipped around. It was Transformers, board games, and G.I. Joe this year as their top 3.
But I just kind of curious about how much money, and I'm talking about per what they have to pay to make it, and what this software, how much money Play-Doh makes.
That's all proprietary. They'd never tell you.
It also probably wouldn't make a lot because they sell a little container of Play-Doh for like 99 cents.
Well, it's not much more than flour and food color and a little bit of water.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't.
Right. I mean, it don't take much to make.
Yeah. But this is the thing. I mean, even in that report, they even said that preschool toys, which had been their mainstay for years, is crashing.
Yep.
It is crashing because even preschoolers don't play with toys anymore. That's because their parents don't buy them. Now, whether that's because of the economy, which I do believe is a factor, but you guys see it too. How many times do you see little ones in strollers that have got mom's iPhone in their hand because
all the time,
and they navigate the thing better than I can? Because
I've seen some playing with groceries and stuff.
Well, yeah, you get the point, bud. You get the point. I mean, we're at that point where parents are programmed not to buy toys for their kids because they didn't play with toys when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
I mean, we gotta face it, toys are a dying thing.
They are. We hate that. I hate that, but because my normalcy bias is there's always going to be toys. Because there always has been. Well, the truth is that's really not true. It's our generation that was really had the toys. So, see, you're making a great point, Timothy, and I have to be honest with you. COVID changed so much.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so much. Even here, where you guys weren't on lockdown like we were where we came from, but it's still changed a lot. It's just, I don't know, man.
I agree with Dave, though. A lot of it is the parents aren't buying these things for the kids. And
No,
I
because
also,
Right.
I believe that, the anti-gun thing
yes,
going around with the younger parents now is also having a lot to do with the sale of Nerf guns
yep,
because they don't want their kids having a gun.
yep.
And in turn, that's why you see a lot of these even toys that don't have guns on them.
Yep. See, but that's what I was getting at. That's the normalcy bias for these younger parents that are now having these kids.
Yep.
The normalcy bias for them is you don't play with toys. You play digital stuff, and you don't have guns because guns are evil.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't read comics because comics are stupid and immature and blah blah blah, right? Because they didn't read comics. Let's face it, they didn't read comics.
Yeah.
I
think the media is what's killing a lot of it too.
It
I
is.
still think because you don't. I mean, everything's streamed. You don't have regular TV anymore to show a
Right.
G.I. Joe cartoon, and
That's right.
kids is whatever's hot at the time or whatever they're watching at the time.
Yep.
Marshall, he could care less about. I mean, he was there for a short time. He was into Star Wars because one of his teachers had Star Wars all over her room.
Mm-hmm.
But now when we said make out your Christmas list, he goes back to Pokemon and stuff. Stuff that.
Yeah.
And we go in the store, he don't never ask for. He'll pick up toys and look at them, but he never asks for them. He don't really care about them. And when you go in there in his room, he's sitting there with all his He-Man and Transformers and everything sitting on the shelf, and he's sitting there playing with his Legos. He'd rather play with Legos than he had any.
Mm-hmm.
But the kids, and that's what got us into them when we were kids. We watched the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the cartoon, said, "Oh, that looks cool," and then we'd see the advertisements for the toys, and we'd go out and buy the toys because we watched the cartoon.
But you hear people talk about this the instant gratification, right?
Mm-hmm.
We saw movies, and you're only going to get to see them once, maybe twice, because there were no videotapes, there were no DVDs, there were no Blu-rays, right? So when you got to see things, you got to see them, and then that was it. We had cartoons on Saturday mornings, right? You had to wait the other 6 days. And then in the 80s, there was cartoons on every afternoon. And that's when we started with this weird sensory overload, right? Where there wasn't 4 toy lines, there were 17. And Star Wars just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then Joe's came on, and that just got bigger and bigger. And Transformers got bigger and bigger. And, Masters of the Universe just got bigger and bigger. And less is more, right?
Yep. I agree.
But now, between hard media, digital media, what little there is in what we would call mainstream legacy media, if you want it, it's right in front of you. You don't have to wait for it, and you don't give. I don't think you're able to actually develop an attachment for something other than just taking it for granted. And if you take something for granted, it doesn't mean anything to you. Right? You see what I'm saying? I mean, I think that's what's happened to us. We have no patience. And because we don't have any patience, we don't grow attached to things like we used to.
And I think it's the modern age and the modern children too, because I got 2 grandnieces. The oldest, she's 9, and hers is digital media. She stays on her phone, plays games, which is fine. She's real quiet, kind of off to herself. Now her sister's 5. She may be 6 now. She'll fight you for a Barbie doll. Loves them. I mean, tons of them. So I don't know. It's just the way the world's ended up these days, I reckon.
Does she have a cell phone yet, Corey?
Yeah. Don't even use it.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
Because that's a babysitter for most parents now.
Did you guys
and that's
see
the problem?
Yes, it is. It's a digital babysitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marshall will be 9 Tuesday, and he don't have the tablet. He don't have a cell phone, and we're not going to get him one until he gets older. And that's why he likes playing with Legos and things instead of sitting there on his phone.
Right.
I never did have a cell phone until I was in my 20s.
Me neither.
I didn't have a cell phone until I was nearly 40.
That's because,
because you're old,
in
man.
my case, that's true, but that's because there were no such thing as cell phones until I was nearly 40.
Exactly.
I'm not that old, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's I don't know, man. We're in for a whole lot of change, and it just sucks because like I said, a lot of our normal stuff is going away. And we're certainly not the first generation to do this. I mean, I showed that ad for you guys that my grandfather posted in 1922, right? He's going to sell his 1917 Chevrolet to start making payments on the horse team that he just bought because he preferred the horses over that car, right? I mean, and that's a cool thing. But guess what? It wasn't too much longer after that than the horse team just wasn't a thing anymore at all. Right? I mean, we're certainly not the first generation that's had to deal with this, but what worries me is it really bugs me about what these kids are actually have lost that they don't even know they lost. Because a lot of our problem solving, a lot of our adaptation, a lot of our imagination, a lot of our coping skills, a lot of our social skills all came from playing with toys. And finishing or starting the adventures that we'd seen or we wanted to see, right? That's all gone because it's all pre-made. It's like we were talking earlier, Elon Musk wants AI generated games. Do you guys actually think that AI is going to generate something new and unique that hasn't been done before?
No.
It's not going to happen. There's a proverb in the book of Proverbs that says there's nothing new under the sun, right?
Just out of fun, go and ask AI to create you a superhero.
I can just imagine what a mess of crap you'd get.
Just do it.
I don't even know how to use AI.
I've got on the one on my phone and asked for a G.I. Joe character, a Cobra character.
Oh, yeah, you did that.
A superhero, and it's all pretty much the same thing. They just changed the name, the code name, or changed the superhero name. But the story is all pretty much the same on every one of them.
Yep.
It's like a Hallmark movie. It's the same story, just told with different actors.
Yep.
Girl leaves big city, goes to country, falls in love, debates on going back, and ends up staying. That's pretty much sums up 90% of the Hallmark movies.
Right.
Exactly.
Now, just as a point of clarity, I will say this: as long as we are living and breathing and spending the amount of money that we spend, toys are not going away. Don't misunderstand me. If Hasbro didn't make another toy starting tomorrow, that doesn't mean toys are going away because they're not until sadly they'll last as long as our generation does. I think we're the last generation that will matter when it comes to that market, to be perfectly honest with you. But good Lord, we gentlemen, let's get real here. We spend easily what 12 or 15 kids would spend on toys.
Oh yeah, easily.
Right? Because mom and dad can't afford it, and even our generation, our parents weren't giving us every little thing that we wanted. Right?
Mine couldn't afford it.
No, mine certainly couldn't. And here we are now. We spend a lot more. Look at our take from just this week. That's a lot more than any kid would ever spend. So we've been keeping the toy racket afloat for 30 years, if you want my honest opinion. We really have.
Oh, yeah.
So is it going to go away? Absolutely not. Is it going to change drastically? Yes. Are we going to end up with a direct-to-consumer model? Yes.
I believe so.
Right. Our price is going to go
up? Yes. I think Hasbro should have done that during COVID.
My only concern is they tried that with G.I. Joe back in the mid-2000s, and it didn't last very long.
Yeah.
No, but because there were other options, right? I don't think we have the options that we did before.
Well, back then, a lot of people didn't trust credit cards being used that way, and most people didn't have a debit card, and now all that's changed.
Yeah, everything's digital now. I don't even know I can't honestly, guys. I don't even know the last time I wrote a check for anything.
I don't even own checks. I hadn't owned
I
checks
haven't
in
for
over
the
10
longest
years.
time.
Me neither.
So
The last account I opened, I still got the original checkbook with original checks in it.
but here's a bright spot, and I would like to end this with a bright spot. If we can last, and we do get to a point where we go direct to consumer, and these toy companies quit dealing with and catering to the big box stores who actually have no use for toys either, truth be told.
Mm-hmm.
We could actually be looking at the greatest time to ever be a collector ever, because then they would actually start listening to us and not purchasing agents for the big box stores or these big distributors that honestly don't know or anything about toys either. To be perfectly honest with you. We could actually start getting what we wanted, which would be pretty cool. Yeah. Subscription service.
And don't call it a pre-order.
Unless it's McFarlane.
Call it an order.
You know what? Even Todd's not immune from having to wise up at some point in time. But he's still catering to Target and Walmart because he can.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at his comments during Comic-Con, it was very apparent that he's just catering to them.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember that last subscription service? Who was that did that? That was Mattel,
wasn't it?
It was Mattel, because I still think Mattel is the only toy company out there that actually loves being a toy company.
Right.
I really believe that. McFarlane does not love being a toy maker. He loves making money.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't love toys. Let's get real. He doesn't. He doesn't. And neither does Hasbro anymore. They used to, but have you guys read any more and more of the stories about that guy that worked for them on the Transformers line for 20 some years? And they just see you, buddy. See ya. Nah. Hasbro's not a good company anymore. It's just not. And you know what? Maybe that's all needs to change for it to get better. You know?
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. It's crazy.
You know? Hasbro's hit rock bottom before. John can definitely attest to that. They've hit rock bottom before, and they came back pretty strong when they refocused on making toys instead of messing around with this other crap, you know. We'll find out.
Toys saved their bacon 3 times.
My fear is they're going to try this digital stuff, and the way the economy is, they're going to collapse, and they ain't going to be coming back this time.
That's the thing. Two of the 3 times it was G.I. Joe that saved them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And but I don't know if they get in bad shape now. I don't know if anything will be able to save them.
I think they're in bad shape. They're just waiting for it to happen. You understand? I think this lawsuit's going to turn into a big deal.
Especially that lawsuit coming.
Yeah.
This lawsuit's going to turn into a big deal because you start screwing around with people's retirements. Oy. We're going to find out. But like I said, mark my words, I bet 2025 is the last year that Hasbro actually is in the toy business. I think they will get their way. They'll go digital, and they will be a licensing company and that's exactly what Chris Cox said. They'll license it all off.
But you know, Mattel actually started as a toy company.
Yes.
Hasbro was in textiles to start off with. They were making pencil boxes when they were about to go under the first time, and then they come up with the Mr. Potato Head, and that's what saved them the first time.
Yep.
And that's what got them into toys.
See, that's what I mean. Hasbro is a corporation that makes money.
Yeah.
They don't care about what they make to make money. They just want to make money. So
I'm gonna float this out there, y'all guys. This whole moving and taking a break until mid 2025 for Hasbro. You think this might be a deal? They're fixing to outsource a lot of their product.
Oh yeah.
To other manufacturers.
But see, it's weird because G.I. Joe's the only thing that they mentioned so far, right?
I think G.I. Joe is the only. I have to be honest with you. I thought about this a lot. I think number one, G.I. Joe is the only line that could survive it, because let's face it, we as fans are pretty rabid about it. And number two, they couldn't. Let's get real. If you looked at from a production standpoint, you say, hey, I want to move production of G.I. Joe or Transformers, because that's really what they have.
Yeah.
They're not going to trust anybody in India to deal with a toy line as complex as Transformers until they prove that they can actually make toys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have a pretty serious production facility and staff to handle Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
Joe's, you know what? You get Joe's, if you can make a buck, and I mean a buck, the buck for the figures. You can make arms, legs, a torso, and a head. If you can make those, all we got to do is teach you how to paint it. Transformers, man, there's a lot of engineering there.
Yep.
That's my thought on it, right? I mean, I think that's why it was Joe's that was chosen, because I think, honestly, they're the only ones that can survive it. It's the only line that can survive it.
Well, and Transformers, they're not completely owned by Hasbro, because what is it, Takara?
Takara, yeah. They own the U.S. licensing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I wonder if that had played a factor in it too.
It could be.
Possible.
It could very well be. Who knows? I mean, but if they wanted to license out Joe's, and you know what, having a factory that's making them any place but China at this point in time would be a real selling point, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, we'll make you a deal. The factory's all set and fired up to go. You can make G.I. Joe for the next 2 years for however many millions of dollars that we will, license that name out to you. I think that's what's going to happen. Chris Cox has said it. I don't know how more clear I can get about it. He don't care about toys. The truth is he doesn't care about our sentimentality about those toys either. He wants to make money for the corporation. That's it.
Looking on their website there, the latest Joe, as far as pre-orders will be released, is August of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep, that's the earliest, and that date hasn't changed. As a matter of fact, these last ones are getting moved back further and further. So there's a whole bunch of bad stuff going on with it's not distribution, it's actually production.
And that's the retro card Mindbender wave, Dr. Mindbender wave.
Yeah. Yep. What? I don't know, man. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm really curious what the heck is going to happen with the Rattler. I just don't know. I'm guessing that maybe that's a different production facility than the figures. I just don't know.
Or if the Rattler's far out, maybe that's one of the first things they're going to produce in India. Because you're looking at a year and a half based off the other two. So,
yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
No.
That's crazy. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Ooh, phone's doing something.
What takes them that long to produce them HasLabs? I think they rent out Santa Claus's elves, and they do that in the off season.
Yep. Well, we've run over again, guys. We got to hang it up. We end up right back here almost every week, don't we?
Yep.
And I think some of that's frustrating. Not knowing is frustrating because we're attached. So
we only got four more shows for this year.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Providing we don't miss one.
Oh,
So
well.
be time to do our top 10.
Yep.
I think we will miss one. When's Christmas this year?
It's on a Wednesday.
Wednesday,
So
I think.
Oh, it's a Wednesday?
We will have one before.
Yeah.
And one after.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a Wednesday.
So we got 4 more before the new year.
Yeah, we got the contest to deal with, figure of the year, right? Or toy of the year, I guess.
Yeah, toy of the year.
We should do a New Year's Eve show.
No.
Not a good idea.
Only if we can do it about 6 p.m.
Yeah, on the third.
We can have the top 20 Joes of 2024 at a stroke of midnight. We can count them down. We count down to the year.
No, I'm not doing it.
That production delay for next year, if you do top 20 Joes, that may be all of them.
Exactly.
You better get 20.
Yeah, I know, right? Boy, that's going to be a slow year next year. Hey, hang it up. Push the button, Shane.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.